Okay, my beautiful friends, sit back and relax because I may seriously have a meltdown. It's too much. Let's start off with this. It is Friday, April 14th, 2023. Okay, let me just regroup for a moment here. So we got this big retail sales numbers today, way worse than expected. Who's surprised here? Not me, not you. We know the situation here. The story with the economy is the U.S. economy, in case you don't know, is 70% dependent on retail sales. What do we know is going on with the economy? Duh, it's cratering. Meanwhile, we got some bank earnings today. JP Morgan is reporting record high revenue along with Citigroup and Wells Fargo. Now, what else do we know is going on here? People, unfortunately, are taking on excessive amounts of debt just to make ends meet. Personal debt, household debt, credit card debt, consumer debt at all-time record highs. So what's going on here is these institutions, because of course the Federal Reserve has been raising rates, they're capitalizing on that. So people are getting royally screwed here, competing or trying to survive in an environment where inflation continues to rise, and with no end in sight. It's going to go higher and higher, and I think we're going to get hit with a tsunami higher of inflation coming here. But these major institutions here, these banks, I would call this, it's a con job on an incredible scale. So not only are people having to deal with higher prices across the board, oh, that's interesting. Hold that thought. Costco reported prices higher by over 50% for thousands of items, higher by 50% or more. Imagine your shock, imagine my shock. This is absolutely shocking in my view. But look what's going on here. So these banks are reporting record revenue. People are burying themselves in debt. They're paying higher prices for everything. And on top of that, because of the Federal Reserve raising rates, well, these banks are they're ripping people off, but reaping windfall profit. Tell me again, where's the outcry? Where's the revolt? Where's the revolution? And where are loving, caring representatives? How about they're nowhere? So that's the story this morning. Retail sales, it's over here. It's just done here. But banks are reaping record profit. Jamie Dimon is laughing his way into probably a record high bonus. Unbelievable. What else did we find out here? I want to cover this. Fed President Bostic. I have a name for him. Yellow Tooth. You ever look at this man's teeth? They're freaking yellow. So Bostic is going to be known as Yellow Tooth. Yellow Tooth. Okay? He's explaining that the Federal Reserve will be raising rates at least one more time. Are you watching stock futures? When he said that, stock futures came down, despite the fact that bank stocks are surging higher this morning on record revenue here. Morgan Stanley is warning again. How many warnings have we gotten from this bank that the stock market could fall 20% or more? Look, these crash callers and even Morgan Stanley, I don't give a damn what they say. You and I are watching the drivers of this market that happens to be the debt market, the 10-year yield. We're looking at the MMRI. Did you watch the MMRI? It jumped higher this morning. It's 221. Why? The relative strength of the dollar is higher this morning, and the 10-year yield jumped 10 basis points higher this morning. Okay, so something is going on here. Okay, first thing I looked at this morning was the MMRI. I saw it at 221. I'm like, okay, why is it at 221? Again, free to you, free to everybody. Link in the description of this video. On the back of that, as I said, stock futures are lower right now. Bitcoin almost 31,000. Crypto's doing pretty well. Gold and silver mixed. Gold under a little pressure here. Silver catching a bid, crude oil getting bid higher, relative strength of the dollar, as I just said, higher this morning along with the 10-year yield. That's the setup for the market this morning, people. Let me just make sure I covered everything. I can't even read my own freaking handwriting. It's pretty bad stuff I want to talk about. So let me ask you, I'm laughing and I shouldn't be laughing. What do you think about this situation? Let's consider this, okay? Inflation continues to rise. People have no choice here. Again, none at all, but to continue to borrow and borrow and borrow some more. What did we find out yesterday? 58% of working Americans are living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And in order to make ends meet, they have to borrow. So, is it fair? Do you think it's fair that JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and Citigroup are reaping windfall profits, okay, off of higher rates, thanks to the Federal Reserve, but people have no choice but to continue to borrow here in this environment? What is this? This is an elimination. This is an extermination, and you know that. We've been covering it for how long? This morning here, okay, I started this video off saying I was going to have a meltdown. This is why. You have no idea how much this bothers me, because I sit back and I say, hold on a minute. People are being forced to cope with this environment of surging inflation, but no one saw this one coming. No one saw it. No Federal Reserve president, the Federal Reserve chair, nobody saw inflation coming like this. Meanwhile, they've been on a money creation extravaganza since 2008, these central bankers, and they really didn't see this coming, honestly. And they don't see the wave of inflation coming, the next wave here, with energy prices out of control, going much, much higher. You know this already, but you have no idea how much this bothers me. I personally think action needs to be taken. My blood pressure is starting to go up. I can freaking feel it right now. It is not fair, in my view, that these banks should be reaping windfall profits because people have no choice but to continue to borrow beyond their eyeballs just to make ends meet in this environment. Where are our representatives, people? We have no representation anymore. I'm telling you, we need a revolution in this country, and we're not going to get it. Why? Because there are too many people dependent on the freak show system. And then Yellow Tooth over here saying, oh, more rate hikes are coming. People, look, this is the most twisted scam that has ever been played on the people of the world in the history of the freaking world. Anyway, and what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Costco, prices for thousands of items are higher by over 50%. Meanwhile, they're trying to tell us that inflation is getting better and food inflation is getting better. Really? Do you see this happening? I know that the prices of some items seem to be coming down, but in aggregate here, not only are prices in aggregate rising, but the packages are getting smaller. They think you're too stupid to see that. They think that you and I are just too dumb to notice that they're giving us less for our money here. And then we have to pay more for everything. Imagine my shock here, people. Anyway, that's where we stand. I don't know what else here to talk about this morning, but I really do want to hear from you. Do you believe that when do you think, if ever, people are going to start, I don't know, taking to the streets on this whole thing? Let me say this to you. If the news from today doesn't make people take to the streets, I don't know what will. Again, the major banks, their stocks are surging higher pre-market. Why? Windfall profits. JP Morgan, record high revenue. Citigroup, Wells Fargo, better than expected. Because people have no choice but to continue to borrow and then being charged more to borrow for that cash. Meanwhile, what else is going on here? We have a situation where the Federal Reserve is making it very difficult for U.S. small businesses and the consumer to acquire credit. What a situation here, people. But again, no surprise to you, no surprise to me. I mean what I'm telling you. This literally is an extermination. It's an elimination of an entire class of people. We're going back to a new feudal system, and you all know this. For how many years have I said to you, and we've covered it here 1,000 times, extreme haves, extreme have-nots. I gotta tell you, my blood pressure, if I took my blood pressure right now, it's probably off the freaking Richter scale. This stuff gets to me so much. I probably have to take some time off at one point. It's just getting to me so bad lately. All right, people, I love all of you from the heart. I want to hear from you. Please comment. Please share this stuff. Again, a thumbs up allows my videos to show up in the algorithms and people can see this stuff. Please give these videos a thumbs up if you think they're worthwhile. If you don't think they're worthwhile, then that's fine. I get it. But for those of you that do, that thumbs up is appreciated. The comments are appreciated too. More comments, more thumbs up lets people see these videos more. All right, people, and please share this stuff, all right, for Greg's blood pressure's sake. I'll see all of you later for the live stream, 1:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.